Howdy, welcome to the Say Cheese podcast. I'm your host, comedian, and cheesemonger Jeff Buck. Today, sitting with me, we have Alex Lake. Alex, say hello.
Hello.
Alex, you're probably most notably known for at this moment as a reality TV star on Netflix's reality show, The Circle. A star, yeah.
Star is a bit of an overstatement, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
But aside from reality TV, which maybe we'll get to, what else is it that you do aside from making appearances on The Circle?
I'm an artist.
An artist.
I'm a former cheesemonger.
A former cheesemonger, of course.
What else?
And that's enough.
Opera lover,
An
cat
opera
dad.
lover. And here in the studio as well, off mic, is Gina, Alex's wife. Gina, you can yell hello and you'll probably be heard.
Hello.
Beautiful. Glad to have you here as a former cheesemonger. Excited to hear what your stories or things you may have to say about cheese. Where are you originally from, Alex?
Oh, where am I from? I was born in Maryland, but I did most of my growing up in North Carolina.
North Carolina, a little southern boy. Or I guess North Carolina is considered
it's
the
southern.
South. Yeah.
I mean, I think technically Maryland's below the Mason-Dixon line, so you could maybe put a case in that Maryland's the South.
I said something really weird the other day to my girlfriend. It was like every now and then like a country accent will come out of me, and I said something like, someone was saying something was the South. I was like, it didn't feel like the South to me. If you don't touch the golf, it ain't the South. And then she's like, did you hear what you just said? And I was like, I don't know why I said that. I'm not actually passionate about the South. I don't want to.
Where are you from?
I'm from Louisiana.
Okay, well, that's a different type of South.
Type of South, indeed. Yeah, it's a weird one. But anyhow, did you eat a lot of cheese growing up in North Carolina?
I wasn't without cheese, but I mean, it was mostly grocery store brie.
Okay, yeah.
Grocery store
just
cheddar.
Kinda...
It's like, not even higher end grocery store things. It's just,
Good.
I mean,
good. I don't even think I had like brie until college, maybe. I think I was just from the family of, we had like cheese balls covered in nuts.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's good. It's like a lot of people like want to poo-poo things like that. It's like, no, Velveeta.
Yeah.
It's not
a gateway.
It's
cheese.
It's not like a high art of cheese, but it's a delicious thing that bring back some. It's like a Proustian Madeleine.
I'm on this. Oh yeah.
So it's like you have this Velveeta, and it's like, this is actually brilliant, and it's not high French cheese, but
I agree.
It's a beautiful thing.
If I'd have known your opinions on this, I would have brought Velveeta today. We could have just dived into it.
Velveeta dip.
They have good marketing. Their commercials used to be really funny. I remember that. It was like paid in gold or something. I don't know. It was weird. We're not gonna get on that.
Yeah.
So what do you? So you're doing art as well right now.
Mm-hmm.
What type of art do you do?
I make personal cinema, film as art. So small gauge, 16 millimeter, 8 millimeter, personal films.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And do you showcase them somewhere?
Or they're on my website.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they don't show around that much.
We'll plug it at the end. Beautiful. So you're from North Carolina. You're eating cheese growing up there. What led you into cheesemongering?
So I went from North Carolina to Chicago, where I met Gina. Mm-hmm. And then after we finished school in Chicago, we moved out to New York. And the thing about New York is, if you don't have a job in New York, you run out of money real fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Chicago, it's like, it's a little looser. The rent is considerably cheaper, especially when we were in Chicago.
Yeah.
And so it's like I moved to New York from Chicago, and I needed a job, and my good friend Lale, great comic artist, she said, I want to leave my job. I want you to take this job. You need a job. So I ended up working at
was her name?
Lale Westwind.
Shout out to Lale Westland for hooking you up in the world of cheese. And then did you kind of fall in love with cheese after that? Just
I mean, I've never not been in love with cheese.
That's fair, yeah.
But I mean, it definitely expanded my knowledge.
Yeah, my story is similar in a way of when I had moved to New Orleans from Baton Rouge, I needed a job, and a artist friend of mine was working at a cheese shop. I was like, hey, I was working some job that I wasn't really happy, long hours, 60 hours a week, just late nights. He's like, hey man, you want a new job? And I was like, yeah. He's like, should work at the cheese shop. And I was like, the cheese shop? Okay. And then I got, and I was hooked ever since. So I'm very grateful for those people. Alan Singleton was his name. That give you the gateway into the world of cheese. Lula? Lulau?
Lale.
Lale. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
Lale.
yeah, God bless her. And God, I mean, yeah. It was for all the problems I had with like the job, it was a great job.
That's good. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in and out of many cheese jobs, and there's always problems, but at the end of the day, you're like, this is still usually the people within it, the community within it of cheese surrounding it are great people.
Yeah.
So I'm always grateful for that environment. Anyhow, today Alex and I are eating a pasteurized goat's milk cheese called Couronne de Fontenay. This cheese is from the famed affineur Rodolphe Le
Oh,
Meunier.
it's a Le
Yeah,
Meunier.
it's a
I
Le
should have
Meunier.
seen the URL on the
Yeah,
package.
yeah. So you're familiar with Rodolphe Le Meunier,
Of
obviously.
course.
Have you ever had this cheese before?
I've not had this cheese. I've met him before.
You've met him.
Yeah.
Whoa,
He's
man.
a very French man.
Yes, indeed. I'm excited. I've never met him. Excited to hear about that from you. Have you? So you don't think you've had this cheese before?
Yeah. Maybe I
Um,
have. I mean, I've had a bunch.
so it's also been called Couronne de Touraine as well.
Okay.
So it's like where it's made, but obviously this was made in Fontenay, and then but he ages it, or maybe he
Yeah.
aged it in Fontenay. Anyhow, let's talk about where it's from. Couronne de Fontenay is made in Fontenay-le-Comte, located in Loire Valley. Meunier ages his cheese throughout all the Loire Valley. He actually grew up in the Loire Valley, where the Loire River is, which is like the central river that runs through France. You're familiar with it.
By name, if nothing else.
Nothing else. So you haven't visited it.
I have not.
I've heard
I would
great
love to go
things
to.
about it. It seems like a beautiful river. There is like it's like their Mississippi River, except better than the
Well,
Mississippi.
because there's wine and cheese.
Yeah, wine
I
and
mean,
cheese on the banks of it.
there's wine and cheese in Mississippi. It's just a little different.
Yeah, I think like the banks of the Mississippi River is more like duck hunting and, and like meth labs instead
Yeah,
of.
well, that's cheese, right?
It's American cheese.
Yeah.
Meth. Fair enough. Fair enough.
It lights up the same endorphins in your brain. So
Close enough.
Yeah. The Loire River runs along Orleans, France, whereas the Mississippi goes to New Orleans. Not quite the same. Anyways. Yeah, that's all. But yeah, so Loire Valley, very beautiful place. They actually have like a special made boat that goes through the Loire River because it's such a shallow river that some like private company made the Loire Princess.
whoa.
So you can like
Is there just one of them, or
I think
are there
there's just
multiple?
one.
Whoa.
And it's like paddles on the side and rotating paddles on the side, and it goes through, and you can now like kind of cruise the river and eat some wine and cheese on the Loire Princess.
There are worse ways to spend a vacation.
I know. One day I'll get there. Maybe, who knows? Meunier, I think he's about 40 years old, 39, 40, very young. He has been in the family business. The generation of his family has been in this business for a long time. What is he? The third generation, fourth generation, third generation. And yeah, his cheeses, you obviously knew it right away. Some of the best cheeses sold in restaurants all over the world: Paris, New York, San Francisco, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Sydney,
It's
Los
fancy.
Angeles. It's
like,
very fancy.
if it has his mark on it, it means it's
Um,
expensive, it's fancy, and
yeah.
it's good. It's
He-
definitely going to be good.
Meunier is from La Croix in Touraine, which I'm assuming might be the home of La Croix drink.
Oh.
No, I doubt it.
I doubt it.
But would be fun if he also had his hands in that somehow. He just does it all. His grandmother made goat cheese. His father expanded the business to aging and finishing goat cheese, which made him then an affineur, which is a respected specialty in France. Here in America, you tell someone you're an affineur, and they're like, after what? I don't know
Yeah.
what that is. It's crazy. His goal was similarly modest. He started with like weddings in the Loire, and then attended one, and he saw these people bringing back cheese to New York. He's like, oh, there's like a market for this, and so then he just started selling his cheese everywhere, which is cool. It's like if I someone came over to your house and they all wanted to take your films back to France. You're like, oh, maybe I
Well,
could sell these to France.
they could.
Y-
I would sell my
yeah,
films to
yeah.
France
You
if
could
somebody from
be,
the Pompidou is watching and is interested.
yeah,
My films are
you could be
available
the
for sale.
Monet of those films. Yeah, he has 7 caves for aging cheese, which is wild. I don't even
Yeah,
have one cave
yeah.
for any. I say this a
Grand
lot.
Central Market doesn't even have one
Yeah, we don't
cave.
even have a cave at the market. I don't even know of any caves in LA. Maybe like the Bat Cave in Studio City or something. I don't know. Like they
I
built a fake one.
Yeah.
There's a cave at the Playboy Mansion.
Oh, that's right. The Playboy
A cheese
Mansion. What is that
cave?
called?
Oh.
There's a name for it. It's like that like little underwater. I should know. I don't know. You know, I feel like okay. I feel like as growing up in the era I grew up, it's just like finding your friend's dad's Playboys. Someone, I
Well,
feel
you're
like
reading the articles.
yeah, I feel like my friends like, come on, Jeff, you know. I don't know.
You're
But I
intimidated
don't
by the
know.
pictures, so you're reading about the cave at the
Yeah.
Playboy Mansion. You're like, this is really interesting.
Yeah, I was a bad boy growing up, and by that I mean I was bad at being a boy. I didn't really dive into those like Playboys as much as the others. Anyhow, so yeah, Rudolph said he started working with cheese when he was 8 years old, and he wanted some money, so his father paid him, and then it was just like ever since then he's like, yeah, I guess I'll do this, which makes sense if you're like 8 and you just like help someone make some cheese. They're like, here you go, here's some money. You're like, okay, I'll do this forever. That's like,
I mean, what's most incredible about him is that in France they have these distinctions for people that reach like the height of their field.
yeah,
I think he has a MOF. I think is what
oh
it's called.
yeah,
I don't know. I speak the worst French. I mean, I speak the worst any language, but it's like the fact that the country of France has come to him and said, or he's like received this certification that's like you are the height.
yeah. He is. He's
At
like
the,
the
but
the best of the best. I think he's won
yeah,
multiple. He's been named the best cheesemaker of France, the best cheesemonger. I don't know the
yeah,
specific name of the awards either. I think I looked them up. Some of them were in French, but they loosely translate to like best
yeah,
cheesemaker, best
like
cheesemonger, or
master.
craftsman. I think
Yeah,
is what it
but
was.
it's like you could also be.
They,
I don't know if it's still a MOF, but it's like in France they have these distinctions for all professions. So you could be a MOF in like plumbing, which
yeah,
I think is like really great. That like
that's
the country will
awesome.
like put their seal on like just about
Yeah,
anything that's like completely proficient, which is
yeah, just
I
a
mean,
skill set.
yeah, it's a standard.
Yeah, that'd be nice if we could you imagine like an Olympics for plumbing in America? I would go watch that.
Yeah,
Just
but
like just guys from each state getting together, the best of each state, and they go together and like everyone has a toilet they have to unclog
I'm
and you have
here
to do
for
it
it.
at a certain
But then
speed.
I would not be able to afford to use that plumber. I can barely afford to
Yeah,
use
that's
the
true.
regular plumber.
yeah, yeah. That's funny. It would be sponsored by Drano. We could have this in
Yeah.
Vegas. I feel like we could
We
put this
you
together.
this could
We
happen.
could. All right.
Let's
Well, off camera. We don't want to give these
yeah.
ideas away. This is too rich.
Yeah.
I'm like, we give you the cheese for free. The plumbing that comes with
Yeah.
the price. You're gonna have to pay for the Patreon for that. Okay, so let's talk about the cheese. Couronne de Fontenay translates literally to crown of Fontenay. Couronne literally means crown. It is shaped like a right now it's not because I biked with it and so it kind of fell apart a little bit.
Oh, it's domed, less hockey puck like and more domed.
Yeah, right now
Okay.
it's more like smushed.
I mean,
But
it's
it's still
beautiful
gonna
this way.
it is beautiful. But normally, which we we had footage of it beforehand. It is gonna look more like a donut shape, hole in the middle, like a crown, a
Got it.
circle, if you will. I thought of you.
Oh,
I
very
thought,
good.
Alex on the
I
circle.
think I have
Let's
had
get
this
a circle cheese.
Now that you say that it looks like a donut.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, nice and bloomy rind.
ash ripened.
The shape of it helps. The fact that there's a hole in the middle, it helps when it's matured. It allows the cheese to kind of mature inside and out a little bit better. It's an aged goat smoked cheese, and so it's gonna have that. You can kind of smell it from here a little bit. It's kind of got that wafty goat smell. Rind is bloomy, brainy with ash, as you can see there, and it's got that Geotrichium candium rind, which is like a lot of breeze and things like that. It's that white bloomy rind, and it's full of goaty, grassy aromas, things of that sort. We're gonna go ahead and start cutting it up and eating it. Do you have any expectations of what you think this cheese is gonna taste like? You say you have had it before.
If I have had it, it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I had to like visually comparing it to a cheese that I'm more familiar with that I've had more of, it very much resembles like Vermont butter and creamery bambouche. Do you know this cheese?
Yes.
It's another delicious bloomy
I
rinded,
think you're gonna be pretty spot on with
and
that comparison.
this is probably like a little more nuanced, a little more like
So much. I'm kidding. Gina, do you want some?
Yeah.
that's why she insisted.
I
She
came here.
She's
for
like,
this.
you can't go to a podcast about cheese and not bring me.
Yeah.
That's fucked up
I
that you didn't
understand.
even tell me about
You
this.
like told me like, hey, just so you know, Gina's coming. Hope that's cool. I'm like, I get it. She's
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
Like, I would
You
do the
didn't
same
even
thing.
say it was a Le Meunier cheese.
I didn't. I
It
didn't.
could-
even
it
tell
could have
you
been
what
the
cheese it
Velveeta.
was. You're right. Some people, some guests,
And I
on
would
this
be very
podcast
happy with
have
that.
gotten no, we've
I
only
mean,
we only do good cheese on the
but
pod.
I mean, yeah, I mean, all cheese is good cheese. If you're
Are you
eating
about
cheese,
to
you're
say
in the-
that? Or while you're eating a Meunier cheese,
Yeah.
are you about to say? I mean, Velveeta's good though. let's not disrespect this man. No, I see your point. I say this a lot on the podcast. Of like, we all grew up as Americans with Kraft singles on a backyard burger. You know, those types of cheese, they serve their purpose. They're not good, but
Yeah.
contextually, they have their place. You know, it's just like foie gras. You know, you eat foie gras in a fancy restaurant, beautiful, great, but you don't want to eat foie gras at a baseball game. That just seems weird and out of place. You know, unless you're like in the box seats, maybe. I don't know. Anyhow,
Yeah.
let's eat this for now. I actually haven't had this cheese yet. Well, I lie. I nibbled on it yesterday.
Sorry. Yeah, it's very good.
It's extremely buttery. Very buttery, very creamy, salty.
Yeah, it's more like the goat is more prominent than it is in bambouche.
Like a little tangy. I said tangy.
But it's still like, yeah, salty, buttery, creamy. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's great. That ash like coating, you can kind of taste that rind a little bit. A lot of people like aren't fans of the rind, especially if it's thick, so they cut it away and
They're
just
wrong.
eat that creamy. Yeah, they are wrong.
It came with the cheese, so you eat it, unless it's wax, in which
Yep.
case you don't eat the wax rind.
Exactly. Even then, if you mess up and eat it, you're not gonna die.
No, it's just not
You know.
super pleasant.
Exactly. But I hear you. Yeah, a little herby there, like musty herb. I like that word musty. I'll start trying to sell more cheese with the musty. See if I can sell customer behind the case. Just be like, this one's, you like musty cheese? Actually, I don't know. I had a couple come in one time. This was when I was mongering in Chicago, and they were like, we want like your most Jim Saki cheese.
Those are the best cheeses.
But
I was
like
a Gubine?
No, it was
or...
like Limburger or whatever. Yeah, I think that was like the funkiest we had at the moment.
Yeah,
that or Taleggio. But yeah,
those are pretty gentle for funk.
Yeah, we just didn't have a lot of funk at the moment. But yeah,
I don't know if this guy is still making cheese. I think he got shut down for a minute because of a salmonella thing, or maybe it was something else. It was some sort of like foodborne illness. But there was this guy in New York making a cheese called Uliut.
What is it called?
Cheese? Uliut?
Never heard of it.
Weird, small. It wasn't super small. It was maybe medium format wash rind funker, and it was so good. And then some people got sick, and I think he might have stopped, or maybe he picked it back up.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a great cheese if you can get past the fact that he poisoned some people. I feel like
by accident, I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe cut that out. I don't want to be held
yeah, I will.
for slander.
If you'd like, I will.
No, I mean you could do whatever you want.
No, I don't actually care. I think
I mean, he was a very nice guy, real eccentric guy. But yeah, the cheese was so good. And then they had to stop selling it for a minute.
What happens? This is really good. I could eat this all day, but I'll move on.
Yeah.
Well, if you had to rate this cheese, if you wanted to like rate it on a scale, you can make up your own scale. It doesn't have to be 1 through 10. You could do blue to banana, whatever you want. What would you what type of rating would you give this cheese? Obviously, it's a Meunier cheese, so we know it's got to be. I mean, I don't want to alter
Yeah,
your,
yeah.
you know.
No, it's on a scale from 1 to 10, just as like a cheese being something that it is.
Yeah,
It's probably 8.5, 9.
yeah,
It's a little salt forward. It's like,
yeah. It's more
It's-
salty than I expected.
yeah, I wish it was like, I wish the goat came out a little more, but
Okay.
it's still, I mean, I would still eat this whole thing in a sitting.
That's what I'm saying.
it's
I
like,
could literally just eat this whole thing and then be like, "What happened to it?"
but But
you know,
the thing
do you
is,
want more?
He's so harsh.
I
I
know.
feel
No.
like I would be like 10. Done.
no.
Gina
but,
says
but
10.
then if you
Hands
start,
down.
if like for me,
This thing is also. I'm just like, just
For me-
It's a little
smudging it on.
no, it's beautiful. That's how it's supposed to be.
It's great.
I'm also the cheapest person in the world.
Mhm.
So it's like maybe working in cheese was not like the right place for me to be, because it's like, this is great, but
Oh,
this
I hear
is
ya, I hear ya. Not
this is what,
affordable
like
necessarily.
$25-$30.
Yeah.
It's, which isn't bad for the experience, but also you figure you could get a bambouche and that's $12.
I hear you. Yeah, yeah.
And
There are cheaper
this
alternatives.
is definitely better than that,
right.
but is it really like twice the price better?
I hear
Which
you. I'm in the
I
same
mean,
boat.
that's just me personally. So if I were taking everything into account,
Mhm.
it would be lower. But it's not to say that this isn't like a beautiful, excellent cheese.
I hear you. I agree with you on that. If we're taking price out of it, I give it a 9 or 10.
Yeah.
If we are equating prices, I definitely bump it down to like a 7 or 8. Just because there are cheaper alternatives that kind of hit that ballpark range of flavor. But I mean, it's imported from France. You know,
Yeah.
those prices are there for a reason to
Yeah.
support Le Meunier and his team of people, so they can keep selling these and making them. But yeah, I agree there. That's a good rating. What type of cheese? Okay, when they were on the circle, were you influencer ever? I can't remember.
I was never
You never made
influencer.
it
I went
as
on a
an
dinner
influencer.
date, but there was no cheese.
There's
It
no
was just
cheese. Because I remember the
was a
influencers
steak
got
dinner.
cheeses sometimes,
yeah.
and I was wondering the quality of cheese on there.
So I did. So they ask you to write a shopping list, and I was incredibly vague. I should have
Yeah.
just asked for badass things.
Yeah,
I should have said I want the finest
Well,
tin of caviar,
Yeah.
but I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking like,
That's so
I'm gonna
funny.
be on this show. I just want to eat. I just
Right,
want to
right,
like write my
Yeah.
Well, they frame it in like write a grocery list, and it's like you don't
Right.
write lobster on your grocery list, which in hindsight was a grave error on my behalf,
Yeah.
because
because
the home viewing audience would have
You
loved to
shoulda-
see me boiling a live
you
lobster.
should have
Right?
also wrote a grocery list in lieu of how Adam would have wrote his grocery list, right? Your catfish character. Not to spoil it for.
Protein shakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Well, I'm just saying, what if Adam was a lobster guy? You know, who knows? Or yeah, I feel like why not?
Well, I mean, the glory
That's
of being a catfish. I mean, I guess Adam probably does drink protein shakes.
yeah, it is true.
But you know, people eat everything
yeah.
generally. Like if I could say like, yeah, I'm eating lobster right now, and that would be totally chill for anybody to say, because that's completely badass.
Well, it is. This
but-
is so off topic.
But yeah, they did
Well,
give
not
me
that,
they did
sorry.
give me some cheese in the fridge. It was a grocery store brie, a pretty like commonplace cheddar. It wasn't like anything wild.
Okay. All right.
I mean, I was
Well, I'll see
happy
you.
and I ate it.
Yeah.
I
of
mean,
course.
as
That's
I
better than
said,
nothing.
I'm not super picky.
Yeah, I feel you.
I like food. I
I-
love food.
This is a tangent off topic, but I just remember when I was in Chicago, I had a coworker who wanted to make a pop-up restaurant called Lobster? Question mark. And the concept of it was like, it was kind of like an event where everyone like goes and everyone pays $20 flat fee to get in, and that $20 entails you to a guaranteed bowl of mac and cheese, which is a good bowl of mac and cheese, and like a couple of beers. But you filled it up, and there's like maybe 30 people sitting there getting ready, and they're all like anticipating. But one person, instead of the bowl of mac and cheese and a beer or two, they are wheeled out fresh lobster and like sabered champagne in front of them, a whole spectacle, and everyone else has to eat their mac and cheese while this one person gets to lobster dinner with champagne, and they're like the king of the night, and you never know who's gonna do it. And so it's like every night you all go like, oh, what if we get lobster tonight?
Yeah.
And if you don't, you get mac and cheese, and you're still like, well, the mac's still good.
Yeah, it's really good.
But you want the lobster.
I think that's a
it's
great
called
concept.
Lobster. I think her name was Claire. Shout out to Claire. I didn't work with her
Claire.
long.
Make it happen.
But yeah,
I would.
Claire and Ben.
I will eat at this restaurant. I like mac and cheese and lobster.
Yeah, I always wanted to see that coming to. Cheesy moments. That sound you just heard there, which you didn't actually hear, we edited in later. You're like, oh, what? What are you
It's
talking
like
about?
I leaned back on the chair and it creaked a little bit, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry.
It means it's time for
video
the
podcast.
cheesy moment section of the podcast. Where cheesy moments means we have listeners send in a story that involves cheese. It could be funny, positive, negative, sad. Doesn't matter as long as it involves cheese. And then we'll ask the guests as well to share one. So I have one submitted today that I'll read for you now. From C. Patrick Ellis. Okay, it's not about real cheese though. So after he won the Super Bowl at the Superdome, Brett Favre tried to throw me a necklace of giant green beads with a huge cheese attached several times. People kept jumping up, grabbing before I could, and destroying them. One even got pulled apart because two grown men fighting for it. The big plastic cheese went flying down Bourbon Street. I stood up on a fire hydrant and finally caught a toy cotton football. He threw it right into my hand. Say what you want, that guy was good. So
I like it. I mean, yeah, it's like a free association with cheese.
Yeah, obviously, it was a Mardi Gras or just Super Bowl victory in New Orleans. Brett Favre, they must have had a parade or something. But yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm at my therapist and he's shown me a Rorschach drawing and I say it looks like cheese and he says, how do you feel about cheese? And then you launch into the story about Brett Favre.
Right, yeah, it was very tangent. It's like, okay, well, I guess, cheesehead,
and
Packers.
It probably reveals something about this gentleman's inner psyche.
Very true. So anyways, thank you, C. Patrick Ellis, for your submission. Glad you got that toy football from Brett Favre. Wonder how old he was at that time. I don't
know football.
Yeah,
I don't know the sport.
I was a bad boy, so
Yeah.
I don't know it either. Beautiful, Alex. Do you have a cheesy moment that you'd like to share with us
there's
today?
There's so many cheesy moments.
I'm gonna grab more crackers while you think.
Yes, please. I would very much like that. Should I keep talking or should I?
Yeah, whatever you want.
I'll just keep riffing. Yeah, cheese has been in my life forever. I was trying to think of one this morning, and I don't know if Gina quite poo-pooed it.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I thought it was good.
Okay, she said it was good. So
I thought it was very on brand.
So it was very on brand because of the shame part. What was it? So there were in the 90s, I was maybe, I don't know, 5, 6, if that. And
I don't
there
know.
there was this family reunion. Tell me if I'm going on too long. But
No,
there was
you're
a family reunion for my mother's father's side of the family. A bunch of people were there, maybe 50 people. I don't know. It seemed big. It was on the same day as a Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I remember like watching the Kentucky Derby and playing bocce ball.
Oh.
But what I remember most about it is that there was like this full spread. Like, I don't know. They probably hired a caterer. It was like,
you gotta have spreads for.
So and when this is a situation, I'm an ultimate grazer. It's like I just want to be by that table, like picking things, and even at a young age, that was my default. And I remember my great aunt Kathy. Shout out to Kathy. She will never watch this.
okay.
But
Yeah,
I
I'll
know
add in
she
some air
didn't
horns for
say it to
Kathy.
me, but she definitely said it to an adult that was standing near me, and she said, "You can't just stand there and eat all the brie."
Oh no.
And it's like, well, fuck you.
Oh,
It's what I would have said if
I'm taking
if-
away those air horns.
Yeah.
I was hyping up Kathy for good
Yeah.
reasons. Meanwhile, she's a no brie.
I know.
Well, she
And
just
it's
wanted
like,
the brie herself.
But I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is you bought all this food. There's way too much food.
Yeah.
Let me eat the brie. Let me eat the
Yeah.
shrimp cocktail.
Don't shame
It
someone
would
for
be
eating
better
brie.
if at the end of your fucking party there was no brie left
Yeah.
and no shrimp cocktail left, because that does not keep well.
Yeah, it's
So I was
hard.
really doing her
It's
a
hard to
favor.
rewrap a runny brie that's been sitting out at a party
Yeah.
for 4 hours, especially during the Kentucky Derby.
I know. I mean, I think that Kentucky Derby just happened to land on the same
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
It wasn't like
It
a
wasn't
family reunion
I
scheduled
gotcha.
around the
the
Kentucky,
Kentucky.
Derby.
I got you. Yeah,
It was just like,
and the shrimp cocktails too. Yeah, you can't just
yeah,
save
it's
shrimp
on
no one
ice.
it's
Once
not
the ice is
pizza.
gone,
you can't just,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
Eat it in the morning and be like, this is just as good.
And I mean, maybe it's because it was Kathy's house and Kathy's party. I don't even know if it was Kathy's house or
Yeah.
Kathy's party, or if she was just being judgmental.
Kathy, we love you, but let him eat the brie.
No, I
well, all
I
right.
would. I mean, yeah, I don't know her well enough to tell you that I don't love her.
That's
My
good.
relationship with her is not
It's just that
like
moment.
strong enough. Yeah, I mean,
it's mostly
if this is the association that I have with her, it's
Yeah.
like the love is probably like, a little strained.
I hear you.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, yeah, I loved brie. I mean, I still love brie. It's a beautiful thing. My mom used to make these like phyllo wrapped baked bries for birthdays. Have you ever had this where you like just wrap like a whole tiny?
Yeah. I've seen those at like my mom never made them, but I've been to like a New Year's Eve parties. They do that. Like baked brie's popular at that. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've had one in 25 years,
You
but
should make one.
Oh yeah, that'd
they're
be good.
delicious.
Would it-
Make
how-
the phyllo wrapped brie.
Yeah.
I wish to see
Or
that.
imagine like getting like one of those Pillsbury dough croissant things, just unraveling it,
Yeah.
putting brie, wrapping it back up, baking that. Oh, I think I know what I'm doing today.
Save it for the next podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
That's
Presidente
the
Brie
after, that's
with
the after dark. Well, that one's on my
Yeah.
Snapchat premium.
yeah, the OnlyFans.
It's just me wearing an
cheese
apron
OnlyFans.
baking brie. Beautiful. Well, thank you for that cheesy moment.
I hope it was cheesy enough.
I think so. Yeah, I think.
I
that
mean,
was-
cheese plays a profound role in everybody's life, whether they acknowledge it or not.
It's
I mean,
true.
it's like it's pretty universal. No,
It is very universal. Yeah.
like.
I mean,
Are there
it's-
any cultures that just have no cheese?
I think the Chinese don't eat. They
Yeah.
don't put a lot of cheese in their culinary dishes, but
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still. I think they still have cheese and
Well,
eat
in
it.
some sort of
Asians are
permutation.
very
Yeah,
lactose
Asian.
Yeah.
averse.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
they're aware of it, and I'm sure they've experimented and tried it. They
Yeah.
have memories of it. Even if you have a bad memory of cheese, you still have a memory of cheese.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, and I think that'll probably wrap it up on this episode. If you had a cheesy moment you want to send in and be read on the podcast, send it to saycheesepodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, thank you, Alex, for being on the podcast today as you eat this last cheese. Thank you, Rodolphe Le Meunier, for the Couronne de Fontenay that we're eating today. And all your heart. Also, Beurre de Barat, have you had his butter? Oh, he's so known for his butter as well. We sell his butter at the market. Thank you, DTLA Cheese, where we got this cheese, and you can get his butter at as well. I'll do a butter episode, I'm sure.
Oh, butter is so
There's
artisanal.
people-
Butter is insane.
I didn't get it at first. I remember people came in and bought like, I'll have 5 of those butters, and they're not cheap. You know, they're like $15
yeah.
for a thing of butter, and I'm like, what?
It's
the
not.
fuck
It's
are
like
these people-
8 ounces
and
of
then
butter.
and then you try that butter, and you're like, oh, I get it. Like, this is like, you don't want to eat any other butter for the rest of your life.
Are those in logs or baskets?
No, they're like circles. It's
Okay.
like wrapped in gold foil. The Le Meunier ones are.
Yeah.
Anyhow, there's different artisanal butters, obviously. But yeah, it's great. Also, when I know I'm wrapping it up, I couldn't help but I looked at your Instagram whenever I messaged you for this podcast. People were going in on you on one of them on one of your posts for playing with your feet on the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's directly correlated to liking cheese? That you're just like, oh, I just need some more funk.
I mean, it's mostly out of like anxiety. It's like
Yeah, no, that's
you
fair.
you get in those rooms, and after a
You're just, like,
while, you
bored.
no, it's like you almost forget that they're cameras
Oh,
because
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like there's not like a dude in the room. They're just cameras on the wall, and you're looking at the TV, and it's
Yeah.
like after 4 days, it's like okay, I'm just doing this thing, and it's like I'm at home, and maybe I made it too comfortable and too at home
For sure, yeah.
for the viewing audience.
No, I mean, whatever. That's what that's for. It's
Yeah,
reality.
I mean, uncut reality.
Yeah.
Netflix bringing you my naked body and my feet.
That's awesome.
So-
I was a big fan of the show. I think I didn't finish it. Honestly, like I saw whenever you got voted. Well, whatever. If people are listening to this, they've probably seen the show. Anyhow.
Yeah.
But it was like 18 episodes. My only complaint, Netflix, it was too long.
It was not long enough for me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
well, but I did enjoy it a lot, and now everyone's on this new one, the Love Is Blind one that they just put out.
Love it.
that one I
Have you
think is
watched
too
something?
long. I think it's a
Yeah,
little dull.
my
No
girlfriend's been
offense.
watching that. I haven't watched that one yet.
Love it.
But I like that Netflix is like hitting the reality TV game.
Yeah, the internet-based reality TV game.
Yeah. Is there any more reality TV things that you'll be doing with Netflix, or any ventures past this?
You know, if they call me and say we want you,
Are
they
gonna
have
do
my
a
number.
A reunion show of some sort. Do you know?
There was like a kind of reunion show at the end of the season.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't much. I would come back for another reunion,
Oh, cool.
but yeah, I would love.
Huh.
I'd love all that Netflix
I wonder
money.
if they would allow you to be back on, and then just catfish again.
Yeah,
That'd be
I
cool.
mean, you could do it infinitely.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But I don't want to be like that guy that's like the guy that's been on 12 seasons of The Circle. Then everybody's just like, oh, fuck, this guy is Alex. I know it. God
One
damn
of them's
it.
gonna be. That would be funny, actually. That's good
I've
TV.
seen this show enough to know that it's him. And
Yeah.
then it gets
He
to a
used
point
this
where
emoji or whatever it is. Yeah.
then it gets to the point where I'm not on a season and everybody's just saying, you know, I think that's Alex.
Yeah, like, what do you mean there was no Alex? Or someone actually uses your picture and they're catfishing?
I'm open to that. You'd have to sell me a pitch, but if anybody out there wants to use my photographs, we can talk. Send me a DM.
Beautiful.
I
Awesome.
might regret saying that.
Well, yeah, we thank you, Alex. We thanked Meunier. Thank the DTLA Thank y'all for listening, and thank you, Gina, for also coming along and helping eat this cheese. Yeah, if you're in Los Angeles, stop by DTLA Cheese. We've got we probably have right now a couple more wheels of the Couronne de Fontenay in. But we can always order more. If you're dying for it, just ask us. We can try and order you some. Follow me at Funny as Buck on all platforms. Alex, where can we follow you and get your website for your films and things of that sort? Anything you want to plug.
So I've been told this is difficult.
Mhm.
On Instagram, I'm __lake, Lake. That's my name.
Mm.
On Twitter, you just add an underscore to that, so it's 3 underscores. But my website is a-lake.com.
Okay. So Instagram, __lake. Twitter, __lake. Website, a-lake. Okay, not as
Yeah,
hard as
it's
you
not-
think, people.
No, but it's just like
get with it.
slight. I mean, just add enough underscores until you actually find me.
Yeah, for sure. Won't be hard. Beautiful. Well, thank you. And follow the Say Cheese Pod at Say Cheese Pod, and we'll go ahead and take a picture real quick for the Instagram itself as we post behind the scenes stuff like that. We'll just do it in front of the GoPro on the count of 3.
Here, I'm gonna get a.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sure. On the count of 3,
That's
say
happy.
cheese. 1, 2, 3.
Say cheese.